Dear viewers, I cordially welcome you all. I have written spiritual video scripts for 11 episodes titled Mysteries of the Virgin Mary. I earnestly request that you view and listen to each, share them with your social media groups, and receive spiritual well-being. Come, let's go deep into the topic. Mysteries of the Virgin Mary. This spiritual video script is prepared, animated, and presented by Dr. S. Joseph Arul Jairaj, former head and associate professor of English, St. Joseph's College, Autonomous, Trichy, Tamil Nadu, India. Introduction. Millions of people around the world pray to the Virgin Mary with devotion, but few know her true story. The life of the Virgin Mary was a journey marked by mysteries, prophecies, and hidden revelations. Today we unveil Mary's mysteries hidden within the pages of the Bible and in some ancient writings. Let's begin, shall we? Chapter 7. Seventh Mystery. Seventhly, in the Bible, Mary is a woman who kept every mystery within herself. In the Bible, her story shows how she kept God's secrets in the quiet of her mind. At Jesus' birth in Bethlehem, when the shepherds arrived, telling of the wonders they had seen, everyone marveled and talked about it. But not Mary. She was different. The Bible says, Mary treasured up all these things and pondered them in her mind. She didn't just listen attentively. She reflected deeply on what was happening, trying to understand it little by little. And instead of telling everyone, she guarded that great mystery like a treasure. When Simeon revealed the terrible prophecy meant for her alone, that a sword would pierce her soul, Mary didn't ask questions. She just kept that warning in the deepest part of her being, a painful secret that would stay with her always. Years passed, and when Jesus was 12, he went missing in Jerusalem. Desperate, Mary found him days later in the temple, surrounded by teachers, and the gospel repeats the same refrain. His mother kept all these things in her mind. She was beginning to realize that her son's life was not an ordinary plan like anyone else's, but God's plan, a far greater mystery. The knowledge she kept to herself became an act of faith. At the wedding in Cana, Mary noticed the wine had run out and went to Jesus to ask for help. And even though Jesus had not yet begun his ministry, Mary said to the servants, "Do whatever he tells you." She already knew who her son was. She knew the power he kept hidden and trusted in what others had not yet seen. And because of his mother's quiet faith, Jesus performed his first miracle. Think of it this way. While the apostles struggled to grasp what Jesus taught through his parables and prophecies, Mary already held every piece of the puzzle. She remembered the angel's words, Simeon's warning, and everything she had witnessed since Jesus was a child. Her silence was like a treasure chest, filled with truths others did not yet understand. At last, the darkest day of all arrived. When Jesus was condemned and took up the cross, Mary was there. Christian tradition tells that she walked with him on the road to Golgotha, following each step, watching her son fall beneath the weight of the wood, bleeding and disfigured. In that moment, the ancient prophecy of Simeon came true in a terrible way. The sword that pierced her soul was not iron, but the immense pain of watching her son die to fulfill his mission. But Mary was not only a witness to his death, but she was also the last to see him alive, the one who heard his words from the cross. At the foot of the cross, when almost everyone had fled, Mary stayed beside John. And there, in that hour, Jesus entrusted her with one final charge. He gave her to the whole human family as a mother, represented by John. "Woman, behold your son." She understood everything. She needed no explanation. She knew the great plan of God was being fulfilled, even at the cost of her own son's life. Tradition holds that Mary also accompanied the body of Jesus to the tomb, and that hers was the last loving gaze to rest upon him before they sealed him in. But it did not end there. The resurrection came, and the Gospels recount Jesus' appearances to Mary Magdalene and his disciples. Yet they are silent about whether he appeared to his mother. Did the risen Jesus not console his mother, who suffered most for him? The answer isn't written down, but it's etched into the Church's faith. From the earliest centuries, the Church Fathers and Christian tradition have held that Jesus did indeed appear first to his mother, even though it isn't recorded in the Gospels. It would be unthinkable for the risen Jesus not to console his mother. But perhaps Mary once again kept this meeting with her risen Son in the quiet of her mind. For this reason, many Christians call her the keeper of the mysteries, because no one guarded God's deepest secrets as she did. But many don't realize there's one more verse after Jesus' death where Mary's name is mentioned for the last time.